Okay, so in today's video we're going to be answering an exam style question on completing a square, and this is for WJEC A Level Maths. So let's have a read of the question. So part A says to express minus 2x squared minus 20x plus 35 in the form ax plus b squared plus c, where the values of the constants a, b and c are to be found. And this question is worth 3 marks. So because we have to express this quadratic expression in this format here, we know we're going to have to complete the square. So the first step I'm going to take is I want to isolate x squared. So the number in front of x squared is just 1. So to do that, I'm going to first take the minus out, basically like factorizing an expression. So that would be minus, and then the 2x squared plus 20x minus 35. And as you could see, if we were to expand this out again, we'd get minus 2x squared minus the 20x plus the 35. So we'd get back to that expression. I'm now going to take this 2 out with the minus sign. So that would be minus 2 outside, leaving the square brackets in place. X squared, I'm going to half 20. That's going to be plus 10x. And then a minus 35 over 2, which I'm just going to leave as a fraction, because otherwise that would be a decimal. And it's easier to work in fractions when completing a square. And as you could see, if we were to expand this out again, minus 2x squared minus 20x plus 35. So we'd be back to our expression at the start of the question. So now we can complete the square on this inside expression. So the minus 2 is going to stay outside. Square brackets stay in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to half x squared plus 10x. So we keep the x squared, and then 10x is going to become 5x. And then that should just be 2 there. Minus, that should just be 5 actually. And minus the 5 squared minus 35 over 2. Staying in square brackets. So we're going to keep the minus 2 and then the square brackets. X plus 5 stays the same there, squared, and then we can simplify this a little bit more. So that'll be minus 25 minus the 35 over 2. So the rest still stays the same as the last step. Then we can simplify this on the calculator. So that would be minus 25 minus 35 over 2. So that would be minus 85 over 2. So now we can get rid of the square brackets by timesing minus 2 by minus 85 over 2. So that would be minus 2. This stays the same in here. So that would just be minus 2x plus 5 squared. And then when you do minus 2 times minus 85 over 2, you'd get a positive result. And then that result would be 85. So we've successfully completed the square. But to go back to the question, they said to find the constants a, b and c. So we're going to have to find a, b and c. A is just a number in front of the curly brackets. So that'll be minus 2. B is a number inside of the brackets after x, so that's 5. And then finally the c is the number right at the end, so that's 85. So that's 85. And then that's our answer there. So to get the 3 marks, you actually have to just get these values right here. The minus 2, 5 and 85. So that's 1 mark to get A, another mark to get B, and another mark to get C. And that's where 3 marks come from. So moving on to part B, which is a follow-on question to part A. So it says, without carrying out any further calculation, write down the stationary value of y equals minus 2x squared minus 20x plus 35 and state whether this stationary value is either a maximum or a minimum. So as you can see here, y equals minus 2x squared minus 20x plus 35. And that's exactly the same as the expression that we were completing the square on in part A. So I'm just going to write down that expression again. So that was minus 2x plus 5 squared plus 85. And then when you're working out stationary values, it's actually very easy once you complete the square, because it's just a number plus c, which we worked out here. So our stationary value is therefore just 85. So we've addressed this part here, writing the stationary value down here. And now we're going to tackle the second part of this question. So we need to work out if it's a maximum or a minimum. So if we were to write down the stationary point, even though the question doesn't ask it, that's going to be this number, but it's going to be the minus 5. So that'd be minus 585. So that would be the stationary point. And to work out if it's a maximum or a minimum, we could do just a simple sketch on the side here, just to show roughly what this graph would actually look like. So if I just do that now, minus 2, so we know it's going to cross at this point here, 35, and then its stationary point is at minus 585. So that's roughly about here. And if we were to join these up, we'd have a graph looking like this, where this is our stationary point, and then this is where it crosses the y-axis. And if you look at the graph carefully, you can see that this is a maximum point here, because that's the highest point the graph ever reaches. And then that confirms our point, because we have a minus in front of the 2x squared, and the graph of a minus x squared looks like this. So I'm going to write, therefore, stationary value is a maximum. So that answers the second part of this part B. So in terms of marks, you get a mark for getting the stationary value right, which would be 85, and you get another mark for stating whether it's a maximum or a minimum, and in this case it was a maximum. So that's your second mark there, and then that adds up to your 2 marks in part B. So that was a question on completing a square. So if you found this video helpful, make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you've got a particular topic that you want me to cover, let me know in the comment section below. And other than that, I hope this video was helpful, and have a nice day.